In the United States, our governments, both state and federal, are comprised of employees that we, the people, have hired and pay to represent us and to do our bidding. For quite some time, that doesn't appear to be the case. It seems like it's reversed. They tell us what to do. They don't listen to us and don't do our bidding. And just like any other employees out there for any type of company, employees that don't perform, they get fired or they get replaced or both. And the best way to do that in the United States is to use our votes to get people in there that we believe will do a good job. And then you monitor them, basically evaluate them, and then decide if they're doing a good enough job, you vote for them again. And if they're not, you vote for somebody that you think will. That's how it's supposed to work. But there's a whole lot of us that don't vote. There's a whole lot of us that we aren't even registered to vote. So even if we want a say in what goes on in the government, we're not able to have that say. And some of us in both those categories complain and whine and talk about how it should be, but don't take any part in making it the way they want it to be. It's almost like they just want to complain and they want to throw mud at each other and they want to be angry and all this, but hardly any of them, the people that don't vote and the people that can't vote, hardly any of them are really looking to solve any problems. And honestly, without being a part of the system of, managing our employees, they can't be part of the solution. So first and foremost, everybody ought to want to be a part of that solution and they ought to want to vote. So everybody should be doing what they can to have that right. But if our government is not doing what we want them to do and not doing what we pay them to do, then actually they're not a legitimate government. It would be more of a dictatorship or an oligarchy or, some type of form of government like that, but certainly not a democracy. And our founding fathers, when they set us up as a representative democracy, they had that in mind and they gave us the right to bear arms. And that right, of course, was for us to protect our friends and families and protect us all from each other. But a big part of that right was also in the case of our government becoming tyrannical, i.e. not doing what we tell them to do. It gives us the right to fight against them. If our government is illegitimate, then it is not an insurrection to overthrow that government. And I'm not advocating for insurrection. I would much rather us manage our employees and make sure they're doing what we pay them to do. But if that fails, and if our government truly takes control or attempts to take control of we the people in any kind of meaningful, harsh way, be it, physical or enacting laws and rules and regulations that we have no say in, then it's not an insurrection to overthrow them. Let's try everything we can not to get to that point. But I'm starting to think no matter who is in power anymore, that's the direction it's going. They are not doing what we tell them to do. They're trying to be career employees by working with each other to stay in power. And that's not the way it's designed. That's not the way we ought to allow it to be. And I'm just praying that something changes.